Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back to those of you who are already part of my community here. Welcome to those of you who are new. For those of you who are new, my name's Jackie, and I post weekly messages for each of the astrological archetypes. I combine tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology. And I do recommend checking out your rising sign first. There's your personality, the way that you engage with the world the world engages with you. Then your sun sign, that has to do with your ego consciousness. Your moon has more to do with your internal psychology and your emotions. So if you have some extra time, also check out your Venus placement as well. That has to do with your sense of self, how you're engaging with money, as well as within relationship. And if you're not sure of your placements, but you do know what time you were born, check out any of the free birth chart calculators online. I recommend this for the most holistic and complete understanding of your energies. But remember, these are general. Okay, for the astrological archetype, not a personal reading. I would have to know your personal birth placements to understand how the current transits are communicating with your individual energies for that. So that said, I would suggest taking what resonates, throwing out the rest. And if you like my energy, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell to be notified when I post each week. Okay, so let's get into this. Timestamp them below, like I always do. I'm going to speak a little bit of astrology first. If you don't want to deal with that, you could just jump around however you want to jump around. I'm going to start off after I speak about the astrology just for a minute. I'm going to go into a Celtic cross spread. And that's going to just be applying to everything. And then I'm going to break it out into 3 different relationship reads. Singles, yes, I'm not forgetting the singles this week. I know a lot of people were upset about that last time. Singles, those of you in relationship, and those of you in a complicated situation. So again, all the timestamps will be below for that. But let's start off with some oracles. Let's see what's going on. We do have the new moon in Cancer on the 9th. We also have Chiron going retrograde on the 15th all the way through December 19th. Super excited about that one, guys. Things are we're finally getting out of the crunchiness of this eclipse season. We're only starting. We're still feeling the tension from that fixed T-square, no question. You guys may be even feeling it the rest of the year. You, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, maybe just sort of feeling it the rest of the year. But you are having the new moon in Cancer in your 3rd house, hanging out in there with the sun. It's going to be sitting opposite Pluto. So the moon is, what does this tell me? You having this in Cancer in your 3rd house. Super, super intuitive when it comes to all communication. You're just going to be, your spidey senses are going to be turned up. You're just going to be very in tune with, or very intuitive regarding anything having to do with your siblings, anything having to do with the community that you live in, anything having to do with any communication with anyone in your life. Don't be surprised also if you're doing any sort of business dealing where some sort of contract is being negotiated or something is coming in, right? Because we have Pluto, which is all about transformation and change, in the 9th house of negotiation, of advertising, of marketing, of higher mindedness, of higher education. So for some of you, there might be a lot of change going on having to do with your personal philosophy, your experience in higher education, your experience with foreign land, foreign cultures, foreign travel. Also changes, transformation having to do with advertising, marketing, and negotiating. And I know that sounds like a lot, as it is a lot. The houses do represent a lot, but that's where there's going to be change, and it's sitting in opposition with this very, very intuitive new moon in Cancer that's also hanging with the sun in that 3rd house of communication. So whatever's going on in this axis, you're going to be very tuned in, you're going to be very intuitive, and you're also going to be very, very focused on making sure that whatever happens feels comfortable for you, because Cancer is all about comfort, right? Cancer's natural home is the 4th house of home, right? Feeling safe, secure, all of that. But you know, the energy of Cancer is also very, very much about recognition, about honor, about empathy, about reputation, though. It's also about reputation, about fame. It's not only about emotions. It's about your psychic abilities. It's about your subconscious mind. It's about recognizing the change in cycles, right? But I feel like you guys are going to be very, very intuitive when it comes to anything, again, that's going on with siblings, extended family, or anything within business. That's where it's going to be super, super heightened for you. I feel like that in a huge way. Now, having that in your 3rd house, it is going to be in a nice trine with your 7th house of marriage. So that's good, but it is going to be squaring that day-to-day work experience. So, you know, you might be needing to negotiate something to have to do with that. Now, also, let's just mention that that fixed T-square, that is still hanging out, doing its thing. Saturn is in your 10th house of career, public reputation, standing in the world. Mars and Venus and Leo are hanging out in that 4th house of home. Anything to do with mother, anything to do with your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. But Uranus is in your 1st house of self. So that's where there's big changes coming in. You guys are feeling this fixed T-square pretty hard, I feel like. You know, you're going to be feeling it for the rest of the year, but all good, really good change on the other side of it. It's just dusting off the cobwebs, having to do with your career, your reputation, how you're known in the world, and really bringing yourself something new into your life to help you feel very grounded and secure. So let's see what the oracles have to say for us, or to us rather. So we have self-love being clarified by have faith, being clarified by to the sea. All three of these just sort of are all about very introspective energies, focusing on what feels right to you. Obviously, exercising self-love means really getting in touch with your integrity and what feels right to you and for you. Have faith and trust in whatever it is that you're feeling. And don't be surprised if you feel a bit of a vacillation when it comes to how it is that you're feeling, right? Because this is the thing. You have Mars and Venus and Leo in your 4th house. That's Cancer's home. And you have the full moon and Cancer in that 3rd house of communication. So don't be surprised if you feel like your emotions are changing. It doesn't mean that you're that you're crazy or that you can't make up your mind, or you just may feel intuitively almost like the lights are being turned on when it comes to how you're viewing something having to do with your siblings, your extended family, something about your home, where it is that you're living, something having to do with your career. It's almost like the lights are coming on and you're recognizing something. But to the sea means not focusing on the past, not focusing on the future, really sitting with yourself right now and saying, all right, what am I feeling? Like really paying attention to what it is that you're feeling in the moment. Getting in touch with your emotions, because the thing is, the emotions, right, which is all about Cancer and the moon, it's a tricky thing, is it not? Right, because our emotions can be very fickle, very changeable, right? You know, and in the same way, how others see and respond to you right now is largely beyond your control. So some emotions that you experience with others in your life right now can be really super happy and pleasant, right? And they could value you and what you do and their experience with you. And then a change comes. And then people seeing you maybe a less positive light, or your emotions take a turn for sadness or anger or bitterness, right? So this is what can happen when we're dealing with the moon Cancer energy. So just understand that something like this can certainly happen here. But at the same time, you're very emotional and intuitive in these areas as well. Very intuitive. So then we have rejection, reflect on your truth, and we have between worlds. So Taurus, there's something going on here, right? There's something going on in a particular area of your life that you feel like either rejected from, even if somebody didn't say, I don't want you anymore. Somebody is maybe being really disagreeable, not having a meeting of the minds with you. It can be rejected in a friendship, family situation, relationship, obviously, any sort of work situation. But you need to figure out what is your truth and what is it that you need to feel safe and secure in a situation. I really ask the big question, is whatever is sort of bucking heads with you energetically here even worth the trouble? Because it does seem like you sort of have one foot here and one foot there, right? The between the worlds energy can have to do with anything, any area of your life, my friends. Honestly, it really could have to do with anything. A family situation can be indicated here, work situation, deciding that you want to move, deciding that you maybe want to move out of a place, maybe deciding that you want to change a relationship in a particular way. Because you have to understand, with Uranus in your 1st house of self, you have there's a lot of changing that's going on within you. You're changing. Even Taurus moon, especially anybody with Taurus rising, Taurus moons, you're just feeling this just unbelievable change, especially those of you who are 10 to 15 degrees. It's huge change, but it's so supported in your subconscious because that Chiron retrograde in your 12th house of the subconscious mind. What I like about this is any areas in your life where you feel like you were shortchanged, where you were not appreciated, where people did not have your back, where you feel like you were left out in the cold, anything like that, there's going to be healing in the biggest way between now and December. So you just have to have faith in that. If you're dealing with that, we have to pay attention to the signs. Clarified by reach for the stars, clarified by a change in the wind. So between worlds, change in the wind, there's no question there's something new going on for you. And don't be afraid to go after what it is that you want. There should be no narrative running in your mind right now. I don't have enough. The chance of this is too slim. I don't have enough training. I'm not good enough to do that. They don't care enough about me to work at this with me. They don't, whatever it is. If somebody is not willing to step up, if that situation feels like you're trying to fit a circle in a square, it's gotta go. It's time to go, because you really do need to reach for whatever it is that's going to bring you to where it is that you want to go. This doesn't mean you're going to be selfish. This doesn't mean that you can't consider people, but it does mean that you can't mitigate other people's bullshit. You can't do that. So if somebody's not on board with you, for you to hang out and wait, if there is no iota of signs of life where the person is going to step in and work with you on a situation, on that business project, if they're going to give you that opportunity, if they're going to work at something within that friendship, relationship, family connection, they either are or they aren't. And this is the thing. Yeah, like, yes or no. That's where you're going to be at. Yes or no kind of thing. So that's what we have for the opening energies as far as the messages from the oracles. It's kind of like, are you on board or are you not? So let's get right into a Celtic cross spread, and we'll just apply it to the different areas of life. We'll apply it to relationship, to career, money, friendship, anything like that, okay? Messages for Taurus friends. You. Current challenge. Okay. Past. King of Wands. Okay, it's time to look at what is making you feel anxious and uncomfortable. Because I think you're dealing with a little bit of a messy energy here in some part of your life. Got the Five of Swords as this outcome. You know, in the past we have the King of Wands. King of Wands, Cancer and Leo energy. Time where you felt like you needed to express yourself. You needed to go after what it was that you wanted. It thinking, feeling, not anything that was able to really sort of stay inside right now. And you're coming into this energy with that. Right? I mean, the Cancer sun has been hanging out in that third house for you. Remember, wherever the sun transits, that's where the focus is for that time period. So there's some sort of focus, Taurus, on either your communication, something to do with siblings, some sort of training program that you might be a part of, something going on within your community. But this is about you coming in and you expressing yourself, but then it's like, you know, I don't know. Am I able to actually get what it is that I'm looking for? Can I actually bring this to fruition? Taurus, I feel like a lot of you are questioning yourselves. And it's like, don't allow that energy, that idea of perfectionism to get in the way. Ever, right? I mean, because you bring everything that you need to the table. King of Wands indicates it's being well received, but you may be being kind of back on your heels a little bit, for sure. Even though Wands are will, passion, motivation, you're like, oh, King, this is fabulous. It's a Cancer and Leo energy. You know, Cancers can feel Cancer. The reason why the Cancer energy is associated with this as well, because Cancer can feel kind of like a little trepidatious, a little scared, a little gun shy, not wanting to get hurt, not wanting for something to fall apart. Okay, now you right now, you're in the space of needing to make a choice, because Lovers is always about a choice. So if this has to do with relationship, first of all, if you're single, this is about making the choice to love yourself first in order to release any blocks so that you can manifest the right relationship when the time is right. Okay, for those of you who are partnered, a love decision is needed. something having to do with the relationship. So it's kind of like the thing where some of you are going to be in the space where this isn't really working out, and if we're going to work out, we need to understand we have to do it together. There's no like 30, 70, 20, 80 kind of jam going on. We have to do it together. And that needs to be a conscious decision that you're both going to work on the foundation of the relationship together. And then you get the blessing of Archangel Raphael. Others of you, the choice may be different. Should we move? Should we not move? Which house should we buy? Should we have a baby? Should we get married? Should we move in together? Should our parent come and live with us who's ill? Should we go on that vacation? Whatever it is, there is, depending on what situation you're in. This could also indicate the need to make a decision within a business partnership. Should you expand? Should you, cut staff? What strategy should you guys move forward in? But again, this need to make there's a choice that needs to be made. Okay, so if it has to do with career, there's one option might seem a little easier than the other, but you really need to look closer to make sure that it's the best thing for you in the long run. Just make sure you don't make anything just all about money. Make sure you're following your heart and whatever it is kind of that you're in, right? You know what I mean? There's, again, decisions, but mature decisions need to be made here. Mature. What's the challenge? The challenge could be immaturity. Right, because with Page of Swords, it can be a little bit of all the pages of the young of the court, right? They're always, and this does indicate, right, a new cycle. But this is the challenge. The challenge is in feeling like you're getting the information in that either that you need, the information that you need. You might be in a space of waiting for a contract to come in, waiting for an agreement to come in. So you might be in a space of disagreement with a family member, with a somebody at work, something having connected with money, or even in a relationship, right? And the thing is, you might be dealing with somebody who is a little insensitive and a little forthright with their words, right? But ultimately claim themselves to be your ally, able to help you. Just be smart about it. Just be smart about it. Because there can be some manipulation going on here. You just, you always want to be a little careful of that. Some of you might even be dealing with some sort of like bad news that came in, some sort of legal issue, legal or tax issue that's getting in the way for you right now. So let's look at the basis and the current situation going on. So we have the Emperor energy. So for a lot of you, you just sort of want to break out and do something different and new, right? Emperor is Aries energy, fresh path, new perspective. It's ruled by Mars. So leadership vibe, right? So this is you really wanting to take control of a situation, right? Having a lot of determination, wanting a different approach to something for sure. So if this has to do with career or money, this is finance is getting organized and balanced, okay? But you are in this space where you're not sure if you're feeling like 100% at peace or very impassioned or very comfortable with how something is rolling out regarding some sort of either career situation or financial situation. And you want to be careful, because if you don't pay attention to that, you can end up feeling very stifled in something. Okay? It's very important to set boundaries, really protect a vision of what it is that you see as yours, protecting the vision. Now, if this has nothing to do with that and you're recognizing this more as a relationship energy, if you're single, this can indicate meeting somebody new, so awesome, who's great, who values tradition, whatever that means to you. This could also indicate those of you in relationship, future plans, very practical matters being addressed in a current relationship. So it's nice because it's a very sort of like taking control energy. But what I like about it, it's working with the present energy, which is this new Ace of Pentacles. So something new is coming in. So if this isn't a new job or a new creative project, a new offer that would directly something having to do with money, some sort of new offer regarding money. So if it's not a new project, this could be an offer coming in for that settlement, something new like that. It's a very auspicious energy though, guys. It is. And it's something that could bring you contentment, that you're going to feel happy about, right? You're at least going to be shown how to bring that to yourself. So I like this for you, especially because right now, we have Neptune and Pisces in that 11th house. You're allowing yourself to go there and dream and really think about where your future is going, where your life is going. So I think that's good. And also Mercury's finally coming the hell out of retrograde, thank you God. And also the North Node. These two energies are aspecting in Gemini. It's your second house of money that you make from the work that you do, how you feel about something, things that matter to you, things of value that you value. So I feel like there's going to be this ability to manifest and some gifts being going on there. I also feel because the South Node is transiting your 8th house in Sagittarius, which is about endings and beginnings, and like it has to do with payouts from other people's money. There's going to be some sort of change in approach to something. Something needs to be released in that energy, but the gift is going to end up coming on your end. So it does look like something's going to manifest in your favor, having to do with not only finances, though, it's also about negotiating some sort of situation that could be going on in a business partnership or in a personal or a family friendship kind of connection as well. But this is new. So there's new here. Definitely a new approach. But you have to really be getting in touch with what's the dealio with your any sort of anxiety. Where is it hanging out, right? Where is it hanging out? You have to look at that. I mean, this is the suggested approach. The Nine of Swords is about this, okay, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm worried, I'm feeling, maybe some of you are feeling depressed, maybe some of you, it's manifesting more as like a general anxiety kind of thing. But it's this recognition that you're maybe not responding the best to external stress because you're really not sure how to actually get through or past something. And so but really here, it's just about recognizing your emotions, right? Honestly, the affirmation for this new moon energy for everybody needs to be, I am in touch with my emotions. I am in touch with my emotions. And for you guys in that 3rd house, you are in touch with your emotions regarding your siblings, your extended family, everybody that you're communicating with, that business dealing, that thing that you want to launch. You really, getting very close in touch with what it is that you're feeling about that particular situation. Okay, so now we have the external energy that's surrounding you, or this could represent others. 6 of Swords, moving on, detaching from the toxicity, at least taking a break from something, from a relationship, from a job, whatever it is, but allowing some space to do some internal work. So this could be you feeling like in separation with within a relationship, a family connection, a friendship, just to sort of like, it's a minor arcana. It's like, okay, I think everybody just sort of like needs to flip and breathe, because I feel like here the challenge for you is this Knight of Swords energy. Knight of Swords is just like, expect the unexpected, and you're not comfortable with that. You might be dealing with like this very unpredictable roller coaster energy, truths coming out, underlying conflicts being exposed. This could be super confusing for some of you, a huge relief for others of you, depending on what your situation is. And this is your challenge right now. I would just kind of wait for things to chill out a little bit, honestly. Where is Jupiter hanging for you is in your 11th house, and then it's going to go back into your 10th house to hang with Saturn right now. So you might want to wait. If you have to make any sort of big decisions having to do with anything having to do with your goals and gains and where it is that your life's going, you might want to wait until like the 28th-ish. The 28th-ish, I'm telling you the exact day, and then I'm saying ish. Only because like Jupiter then it's still going to be retrograde, but it's going to be going into Aquarius with Saturn. I don't know, Jupiter retrograde in Pisces, I don't love it there. I just don't love it there, because you want to expand, but there can be this situation where as things that you try to push forward, you can end up on getting the lousy end of the stick in a situation. And you might be vibing that because you might be dealing with some challenging personalities. And what I do, now that's a very psychological card, so I'm giving you this as sort of an aside kind of thing, okay? But I'm recommending, just from a mercurial perspective, like if you can wait on any super important conversations, I would try your very best to wait just another week or two. That's all. Nothing crazy. If I can pick this card up. 6 of Wands in the near future. Yes. Yes. Deserve success. Great energy if you've been struggling lately. Getting acknowledgement at work. Awesome sauce. This is really good. This is good news in any aspect of life, honestly. Having to do with love, property, work, any decision that you have to make, education even. Relationships, really great for communication, sharing feelings in any relationship, and then being well received. This does indicate positive communication that can end up deepening the connection because there'll be a deepening of understanding. And the thing is too, with the moon there, you're going to be very sensitive in your communication. You're going to be very empathetic. You're going to be very, again, very intuitive. You're going to sort of be vibing with people need to hear. Also, I want to throw in the fact that the Pluto, the energy of transformation is hanging in that 9th house. Your 9th house also has to do with your in-laws and your stepchildren. For those of you in that space, just like throwing it out there as well. If communication's been a little wonky there, it does seem like that can be getting better for you. So that could be a good thing. Now we have as the final outcome energy, the 5 of Swords. Listen, there is like just this clash between what it is that you want in a particular situation and the reality that you're living. And the tension of that conflict, you're not going to win. You're just better off accepting the situation because you can't mitigate somebody else's stuff. That doesn't mean to give up. That just means to just acknowledge like, all right, man, you're hysterical right now. You are saying stuff. Remember last week in that reading that I did, guys, if you didn't check out last week's reading, definitely check it out as it talks more in depth about the fixed T-square and this idea of the change back energies that a lot of us, I got so many emails from you guys like, oh my gosh, you called it like just failing communication, really wacky communication that would come out of nowhere, things we weren't expecting, right? But this is you saying like somebody coming in and just being really foul with their words or just being very, very disagreeable, and you're just making the decision because it's the 5 of Swords, right? It's still in minor arcana. I'm just going to leave them and this alone for a couple of minutes, right? Because this is not going to end up going, it's not going to end up going in your favor if you keep trying to push something. The louder you yell, the more you cry, stamping your feet, none of it's going to work. It's just going to be falling on deaf everything. Deaf eyes, deaf ears, right? Deaf eyes. All of that. So let's see if we can't get some additional information here for that. Okay. Let me pull one more, 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. We have the 2 of Pentacles. So there's 2 points of a situation that you're needing to negotiate between, and you need to make a decision, and you have to figure out what the best strategy is for you, because clarifying that we have the 4 of Cups. You recognize that something is not feeling right to you. If this has to do with a relationship, it's like, I can't be with them because of A, B, and C. This is not going to work out because they do this, this, and this. So I can't be in this relationship, this friendship, this family connection anymore because of this, this, and this. There's this need to heal some sort of past issue. There is certainly this need. You can't do all the work by yourself, though. Now, some of you, if this has to do with relationship, this could indicate, I mean, honestly, this could just have to do with just an overall sort of feeling of boredom in an area of life that just needs to be very spiced up. And for some of you, on a less like dramatic level, this could just be you saying, I'm feeling lack in a particular area of my life and I need to spice it up. Some of you are going to be like, I'm feeling really bored in my work. I need to get another job because I want to feel more excited about what I do. I feel very sort of complacent and not very happy and excited about this relationship right now. Doesn't mean you don't love the person. It just means that you're bored. Right? I mean, maybe you're just busy doing other stuff and you're not paying attention to the relationship in the way that you should be. But whatever it is, it's sort of like this sort of restless, bored, apathetic, feeling very disillusioned. Will this ever work out in my favor? Will I ever be happy really in this part of my life? There has to be some sort of balancing out, right? Because the Justice is really, the Justice is Libra, which is ruled by Venus. It's about balance and fairness being very important to look at right now. Like, remember, Venus wants us to feel good about being in what we're in, right? She values things that are equitable and loving, right? So even though for some of you, if it has to do with career or money, you might be feeling or experiencing anyway a challenging situation having to do with career or money that feels like a test, right? And this energy means, though, that things are going to go well and in your favor. Any kind of negotiation, any kind of interview, any kind of conversation where there needs to be a meeting of the minds, anything like that, it's going to ultimately end up going in your favor, which I like this. If money's been an issue, things are set to improve. Any legal issue, including property of all kinds, any sort of lawsuit, anything, can be resolved here. If papers need to be signed, things progressing smoothly. Remember, we sign papers in that third house energy where we're having the new moon, right, with the sun. Yeah, and I just feel like, so there's going to be some sort of agreement so that there can be some sort of necessary surrender to it. Some sort of situation has to just be over. You know, some sort of secret come to light. There could be some shocking turn of events that go on, right? But it does seem like whatever needs to end, it needs to end because it needs to end. Something has definitely reached its expiration date. We have that being clarified by the wheel. So something very fated, something that's going to be in your favor, some sort of turning point. You taking a chance on something is going to end up going in your favor. For some of you, having to do with relationship, you might be reconnecting with somebody from the past. Great if you feel like if it's worth revisiting. If not, don't. This is a Jupiter energy. So as long as it's meant to happen, as long as it's meant to last long term, Jupiter will bless it. But if not, it's probably not. You're going to feel like you're trying to fit a circle in a square. If it has to do with a career or money situation, this is good news coming in. This is good news coming in about that. So it could be the ending of a very difficult, challenging time for you. We have the Page of Wands here. Page of Wands is really nice because this is good news about any project that requires negotiation. So again, any lawsuit, anything like that. Right, so I like negotiation, looks really good. We have Pluto hanging out in that 9th house for you, allowing this change. So I'm kind of loving this for you. It's very busy time for you. You may be very busy. This could bring a new offer in, whether it's a job, whether it's a financial offer. This could also indicate an offer of a relationship, right? So something new coming in. And even though what's being offered may not be necessarily as high as you'd like, or as glitzy and glammy as you would like, or as fabulous as you would initially like, I guess, it's still going to appeal to you. Just make sure if you're signing anything, you really want to make sure you read the fine print before signing or agreeing to anything. Especially, look, just because we have the moon, we have the sun in that third house for you, and where the moon is, you want to make sure that you're not getting too caught up in the moment, like the emotion of a situation. You just want to be careful of that, okay? And then we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The Eight of Wands in the reverse is really about feeling frustrated and there being some sort of delay ahead. So even though things may be working out, it may not be happening like right now. You may have to wait on something. Not the end of the world. It's really not. It's good news. It's good, something good coming in, but you're going to have to there's going to be a delay in it. Okay, so that's what we have for that. Okay, so let's start with our single friends, okay? Now, in the name of time, otherwise we'll be here all damn day, we're going to do a 7-card ellipse for each of the relationship spreads. So I'm going to start with singles, then I'm going to go into those of you who are partnered, and then those of you who are in a complicated situation. And the complicated I'm also going to pull for those of you who are perhaps in separation. So we have the past, we have the present, future, advice, external, others, hope, fear, outcome. Page of Pentacles in the past. So, I feel like maybe you were dealing with somebody who was very immature, didn't really know how to connect well in the past. Maybe you were just drawing just very immature energies towards you that had to do with connection, pentacle connection. So they might have been fabulous with money, but really had a very low emotional intelligence when it came to connecting on a one-on-one, when it came to relationships and how to actually communicate and be intimate and all of these things and be very open and honest, right, when it comes to connecting within a relationship. Or maybe some of you were challenged by that, right? The energies could always be vice versa. The present situation is the world, and it's learning. Beautiful. I mean, this is the best card in the deck, yes. I mean, this is about happiness and fulfilling loving, but it only happens after learning a lesson. So there's some sort of completion to something that you learned a lot of lessons about. So maybe you learned a lesson about immature energies, or you learned a lesson about yourself, about how you've shown up in relationship, right? And I mean, that's amazing. That's beautiful, right? And we have the future as the Page of Wands. Hello. So this is very good news coming in. I mean, this could be you, personification of fire. This indicates a new cycle. This could be a new person that you're super, super connected to. Just be a little careful with the Page of Wands. I just want to say, remember the page is the youngin of the court. So they're not always the most mature. And because wands are will, passion, and motivation, you just want to make sure that if somebody comes on very strong, just have your spidey senses on for that energy. It's just what I just want to say this. Now we have the Hangman in the reverse as the advice. So this is like something that you need to pay attention to. So when we get this in the reverse, you need to reevaluate your expectations to see if what you want to do in relationship, or what you expect in a relationship, is actually a realistic possibility. So the advice here is to be super careful of rigid thinking or martyrdom, right? Being a martyr or feeling like you need to sacrifice yourself, right, in any way. Right? You might be dealing with this kind of energy showing up in someone that you're dealing with, or you can be in this space yourself. But if some kind of fantasy or false narrative is being held onto right now, you really need to look at that and look it over with some sort of honesty and see if you can't maybe break away or liberate yourself from the situation that is ultimately not going to give you really what it is that you want, you know? You want to ask yourself, do you find yourself attracted to energies that you know at the end of the day are really not the best for you? Those of you who know astrology and know the energies, it's like you can have a very strong energy in your 5th house of falling in love, love affairs, romance, but it's that 7th house, that soul connection energy that you really should be going for. So it's very difficult, right? If you have like this attraction, say, to the bad girls or the bad boys, the crazy girl kind of thing, in that 5th house energy. Meanwhile, your 7th house really wants somebody who's earthy and secure, right? So it's important to understand but I'm just speaking for those of you who understand your placements. But that's really what this Hangman in reverse is asking you to look at. Now, the external energy or others surrounding you right now, we have the Empress in the reverse. So the Empress in the upright is about the Hangman and the World energy. So in the reverse, it's like, again, this is like getting 2 Hangman reverses as well as a World reverse. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at where you might end up getting in your own way. In the reverse, this could indicate some kind of disruptive stress. There could be just a lot of challenges in being able to meet people and feel like you can grow with them. And why is that, though? So why is that? So you might be in this space where you're just meeting one person after another who's like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship, or no, I actually don't want kids, or somebody that you're just feeling like you like just really can't connect with, right? And that could really throw you off balance. I mean, there's no question, right? So we have your block here, so you're hoping you fear, right? You want there to be temperance. You're having a hard time balancing a situation, though. So you might feel like there's some sort of unfairness, right, regarding something within relationship, and something's just not working out, right? But this is the thing. You might be feeling really challenged by something that needs to change, and the stress of a past situation, a past relationship is sort of showing up in your energy now as you're trying to venture into a new one, right? It's impacting you in a particular way. It's like dealing with these difficult memories of the past can make you feel stuck and held back in your ability to move forward in relationship. And that could just be really difficult. I mean, these energies could also be sort of very resonant, sort of an echo of some sort of past situation, you know? But we have the outcome as the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, this is a nice energy, right? If this is a person that you're meeting, this is somebody who's very loyal and dependable. They have a lot to offer. They look fabulous on paper. You know where I'm going with this. They might be a little boring, or you might feel like something's missing, like maybe they're very slow to share their feelings, they're not very communicative, something like that. But depending on what you're looking for, they can end up being your rock at the end of the day. But they just might lack a little something. And then I would say maybe they are very exciting, but they're missing something else to capture your heart for the long term in a really satisfying way. It depends on where you're at. But this is almost the kind of thing where it's like, no, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go for this person. Then you're like, but a lot of you might be doing that because of something messy that you went through in your past. So just be mindful of that. And be mindful that you might not be trying to project a past experience that you really enjoyed, even though it was bad for you, onto something new. Don't beat yourself up if you're doing that, for goodness sake. Part of the human condition, we do that. But just try to be mindful of it. All right, my friends, that's what we have for you. Now let's go on to those of you who are in a partnership. Okay. Chariot wanted to pop out. Moving away from toxicity. Let's see how that ends up manifesting here. Okay, hello. What am I doing with these cards? What happened? Okay. I mean, this needed to come out. Okay, what's happening with this deck? I don't mind the poppers, but how did I flip half a deck? Okay. So we have to pay attention here. We have to pay attention. Past, present, future. Let's see what's going on with advice. Okay, 4 of Coins. Protect yourself. Okay, cool. Here we go. External other. And fear, outcome. Like we got the outcome as the Empress. All right, so we have the 2 of Wands in the past as something that's been good. So the 2 of Wands is a nice energy, actually. This is a Mars in Aries. So some of you, maybe you met each other through work or friends, something like that, and you were just started to make plans and move forward in your relationship, right? Some of you may have even been together for a while, but you're just taking a new approach, right? Because in astrology, this is a Mars and Aries energy. So it's about this fresh path, new perspective, right? But there are 2 aspects to the situation. You need to figure out what is the best strategy for you guys to move forward, right? So I feel like there was a lot of conversation having to do with that. How are we doing this? How are we moving forward? How are we going to work this out, right? So right now we have the Knight of Sword energy. Not an easy energy, I'm not going to lie. This is about expecting the unexpected. That's never comfortable. For some of you, as an influence in your relationship, this can be a very unpredictable roller coaster energy of just like sudden truths coming out, highs and lows, underlying conflicts being exposed. For some of you, the things being exposed could be a huge relief. It's like, oh, I knew it all along. You know, thank God it's out. For others of you, it can end up being really confusing. Just if the energy feels really trippy, don't even try not to even make a decision yet. Try not. Try to let things settle up a little bit before doing anything. But you might be dealing with somebody who is just sort of, they create a lot of drama. Somebody's very determined, very driven, very forthright, ready to fight for what they believe in. This is an energy that in relationship, they can get bored very easily. And it's the kind of energy where you can't even explain it. And so they could just create a lot of drama because they're feeling bored. And then they move on and they don't take responsibility for the reconciliation or for for working out whatever it is. So that can definitely be something that's going on right now. So we have the future, we have the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins, again, is this energy of, this came up for the singles as well, where this can be somebody who's super loyal, really dependable. They have a lot to offer. They look great on paper. Everything like all boom, boom, boom. But they might be either a little boring, a little missing something, a little, you know, maybe you feel like they don't share your vision, your values. Maybe they don't like to do the same things as you. You know, maybe boring is a little bit of a harsh word, but, you know, where you feel like there's something missing. But depending on what it is that you're looking for, they could be your rock at the end of the day. But they just might lack that, you know, that passion, that excitement, that's something that you feel like is missing to capture your heart for the long term in a really, really satisfying way. The advice here is, though, to focus on your security, your self-protection, you know, really watching out for yourself. I mean, the four, that really is about your security and your protection. What is the right thing for you to do? What is the right approach for you to take in this relationship in order to make sure that you're protecting yourself, you're securing yourself, your heart, your finances, all of those things are things to consider. Right now, you know, I mean, that is the advice. Now we have the external, and this could be the energy surrounding you or the energy that you are experiencing with your partner. In general, we have the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is, there's always a history here, right? An ending where there's a history to it. But it's the finality and the release of something that ultimately releases the frustration, the stress, the confusion, whatever it is, even if it's painful. It's the end of a difficult era. It's like put a fork in it, it's done. This is one sword at a time, over time, in the back. And now something's just done, and you can transform it into a healthier space, a healthier energy, right? With fresh eyes, a new mindset, right? I just feel like a lot of you have been going through a difficult time where there's been either some toxicity, some like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me, I'm not sure kind of thing, I don't know. And we have in your hope and fear is the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is, first of all, being able to really rely on your intelligence and make a very smart decision, right? But the Page of Swords is also about getting help from people around you, right? Useful information coming in, realizing something. Remember, swords are truth, they're words, it's communication. Page is all about a new cycle. So the Page of Swords brings in some truth, some information, some realizations. And the thing is, I feel like for a lot of you, you're almost scared of what that's going to reveal. So some of you are hoping for that, but some of you are afraid for that. Because some of you may be afraid of what your truth is on the other side of this. Others of you are very much wanting this new way of connecting and this new truth coming out. Some of you may be pregnant. The final outcome energy is the Empress. This is the mother energy. She's the mother of the tarot. Doesn't need to be this. Obviously, not everybody's in that space. The Empress is all about growth, though, and the ability to grow the relationship, right? So I have to tell you, I feel like some of you are afraid of your own truth. And not because you're looking to lie about anything, but because you're not sure how to actually, if something can actually be fixed to the point of making yourself feel more satisfied in it. So it's very interesting. I feel like I need to, let me just pull another. Injustice, okay, good. Yeah, it's definitely some confusion because something feels not balanced. There seems to be some sort of imbalance, which is making you question whether this is even like the right thing for you. You know, that could end up coming up, right? But it does seem like some sort of good news is coming in, and you guys are going to be able to work past the past, focus on family and growing and maturing the relationship. So I really like that. This is about firing up your ambitions. And beautiful 10 of Cups. Nothing to be afraid of. So I feel like the Chariot energy, beautiful 10 of Cups, is family, contentment, benefits of security. Great time for your partnership. Right? Anything that you've been working hard on finally coming together in the end. So really great for communication, romance, family, anything like that. So the Chariot is showing up as moving away from the toxicity of something. But I feel like a lot of you right now are just still in this space of feeling maybe a little confused. You might be a little confused right now. But there are, you're changing. And so therefore, because you're changing, Taurus, it's happening in your first house of self, your soul contract kind of relationships are changing as well, right? Because anyway, Scorpio is aspecting your 7th house right now, which is all about endings and beginnings and transformation. So I feel like there are a lot of changes happening for you guys in that area. All right, last but not least, long video. Let's see what we have going on for our friends who are complicated. Maybe you're in separation, maybe you're not. Let's see. We have 6 of Pentacles as the past. So there was a time in the past where you had each other's back. Maybe you guys were family, meaning, married or living together or something like that, where you helped each other out financially, you helped each other out emotionally. Current situation is, though, you guys are fighting, obviously. But this is about battle of the wills, lack of agreement, strong opinions, fighting to be heard, yelling over each other. We have the future, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, we have new. This is nice. This has to do with happiness and contentment. And you at least figuring out how to make that happen for you. So that's good. Let's see what the advice is. Ace of Swords, something to look at. What's the stress going on here? Who's having the block? Are you both? There needs to be, whatever's been dishonest, whoever's been exercising some poor judgment, somebody's got to be super open and honest about that. That's just going to be necessary for this to work. Now we have external, others, choice. Choice, are we going to work at this or are we not? Really, it is about that. There needs to be a choice made in the relationship. So that choice could be, are we going to fix this relationship or are we going to get divorced? Are we going to move in together and get married? Or are we going to live separately? Are we going to have a baby? Are we going to go on that vacation? Are we going to buy that house? Whatever it is, there's some sort of choice that needs to be made here. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse in your block position. This is feeling let down, feeling very disappointed and depressed over a situation right now in the moment. But the outcome, we do have the 6 of Cups in reverse. Be careful here because this is living in the past and having unrealistic expectations and potentially being naive about the ability to actually transform something. We have the 3 of Swords coming in. So the 3 of Swords in reverse is about apologies and getting past something, right? That's an energy of recovery. Then we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse, so clarifying that. And this is somebody, what are they apologizing for? Somebody is doing bullying, weak boundaries, somebody who was just really not ready for the relationship at that point. Somebody who was maybe didn't have any follow-through. They didn't have a lot of follow-through. Maybe this was somebody who's very greedy with their money. They were holding back their money. We have the Page of Wands in the reverse. Page of Wands in the reverse. This is big immaturity here. Might be some sort of issues regarding children, something about children as well. For all of these reversals. We have the 4 of Cups in the reverse, which is actually way better in the reverse because this is about a new outlook, a new direction, handling things in a different way, recognizing 10 of Swords that something really does need to be over. Okay, 10 of Swords is like the ending to whatever this history was, and the release of it, even if it's painful, is going to be a relief. Don't be surprised if you end up finding yourself in this space where you feel like you're taking responsibility when you really shouldn't. But this could also indicate you holding on to the relationship that's not strong enough to stand the test of time. So if you're clinging to the past to protect yourself from reality, the thing is, whatever it is that you're afraid of is probably going to materialize, because the expiration date on something has been reached here. Not because anybody wants to be mean, but because it's not meant for you on the for the long term. I remember tower energy is Mars, and Mars is all about us being on a rightful path. And if it's not good for us, he will send us the red flags, and if we refuse to see them, he will pull it down. But with this in reverse, you're at least going to know where you stand, but really try to avoid blaming yourself, because you are dealing with somebody who's just dishonest, who overstepped boundaries, who is selfish. You might be confused. You're in the space of negotiating. But you got to walk away. Have the emotional intelligence to understand that this doesn't feel right to you. Don't try to fit a circle in a square, because it's time to move on. Sadness but no regret, though. That's the thing here. I feel like you sort of know it anyway. I feel like in part of you already did sort of move on a certain level. It's almost like maybe you came here for confirmation because you would like it to be a different message, but I just don't feel like it is. I feel like at the end of the day, doesn't necessarily have to be a cheating situation either, but there was some sort of dishonesty that was exercised here, maybe having to do with money, because we got that King Pentacle energy in the reverse. Being apart has been more difficult than I can accept. There's so much unspoken between us. I need to tell you how I really feel. When times got tough, I gave up on you too soon. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Somebody's missing you. Photograph. Feeling nostalgic. Heartbroken. Then we have many options. Unconventional string along. One night stand. Now, keep in mind, the one night stand, the options, understand this does not have to be only intimate kind of situation. This could be that in their life, this person that you're dealing with, they have a lot of opportunities going on in their life, and they might be stringing you along, giving you a lot of lip service about maybe you guys are going to get married. Yeah, we're going to have kids one day. Yeah, we're going to have that kind of house. Yeah. And this sort of like string you along. And you're like, you know what? What the hell is going on? And you saying, I just can't hear it anymore. But they don't want to like totally cut away from you, but yet they're not willing to deliver what it is that's needed for the relationship. And I do feel like you're going to get to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm not doing this, right? That's what you're going to say. I'm a Taurus, man. I have Scorpio aspecting my 7th house. Nope. You got Virgo aspecting your 5th house. You have a critical eye. You see straight through them. That's it. You're not going to be able to tolerate it. Anyway, my friends, that's what I have for you. You guys have an amazing week. Thanks for hanging with me for this long message. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.